Hello, everyone. If you're catching the replay, welcome. I'm Steve. Mark's around. Say hi, Mark.
Hey everybody.
And this is Smokeysteveandmarc. Welcome or welcome back again. Happy Hump Day. One of my favorite days of the week. So I just wanted to touch base. We're gonna have a little snack. I got a pear, my old man hot water and lemon, and a few brief notes. More of a snack time than a full buffet. So just wait for a few people to trickle in. I didn't post up a notice like any before time because this is kind of impromptu. But I have some notes about our fair lady, Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, the Daily Chantal, Chantopolis, Chantal and Sala, Everyday Miriam, and now having a nice penicillin ERBs. Um, so I just wanted to touch base because I've gone to the hospital for something similar to what she's describing, and I have grave concerns that she's going to be in a lot of pain very soon. Um, so that's caught my eye. So I had a couple things about that, and it's been a fascinating 48 hours for her. Really, she's been living off Chat GPT. She's treating it like a person, like a boyfriend. It'll always message her back. She was always talking, I remember, about getting like a human doll. So if you get the doll and then you have the chat as your, you know, for that, the emotional needs and the conversation needs and everything, then maybe you could make it happen and never have to bother another living, bleeding being again. Have I what? I'm gonna take her word. I saw the diagram she drew of where it is. Um, and after the crying, I kind of thought a little bit. I'm like, hey, that's kind of. I had a similar thing in a similar area. I haven't seen her boil, but it's a conspicuous time for her to be laid up medically. It means something important is happening soon. So she needs to be too sick to do it, or too shaky in her way of health to do it, that kind of thing. Hey, folks, I see y'all coming in. Hey, Mike. Hey, Jenny. Hey, Foxy. Now, her self care isn't all that it could be. That's not news with Chantal. And there's always been observations um, about her. How can I say this? Her hygiene isn't so hot. Pete's confirmed it with some things, and she's pretty honest about the other stuff. I'm sure it's a hassle to shower at 400 pounds, but you'll be living alone a lot longer if figure it out. So, boil apocalypse. Dun dun dun. I'm so excited I can hardly eat this pear. So, now, the bit, and I mean bit, that I know about getting health services in Canada. I can talk about the United States. We have emergency rooms, we have urgent care, we have just your primary doctor's office, but Chantal doesn't have a primary doctor. Not just because she doesn't now, she pretty much never did. As soon as a doctor mentions her weight, she stops taking their advice and finds some fucking book about lemons and grapes and how that diet's gonna fix everything. And then that other fucking plan that was like a medium who channels diet tips or something. She's tried a lot of stupid ways. And stupid, try to lose weight fast ways of losing weight. Following directions is not her strong suit, but she's going to run out of alternatives soon. I mean, we're at the point now where things are she's not doing well. I would say full AI psychosis because basically the people on Kick were watching her talk to her phone the whole time. Now, as if her streams couldn't get more boring, she's going to have you sit there and watch her read and interact with a piece of AI while real breathing people with wallets are actually watching and getting relatively pissed off. They've taken the tone in her chat kind of, a tough love kind of thing. Like, we're really worried about you. We're not sure you're taking this seriously. And she gets defensive and says, hey, whatever. The reason they think it's not so serious is because she was on and then decided to go to the hospital, but she caught a nap and then went. And there's McDonald's in there too. She got a grilled chicken wrap, but extra sauce and extra cheese makes it the best. Oh my god, she's probably trying to talk ChatGPT into like bugging Sala's home or something. She looks at her. It really is like if I was sitting across from her at a table and she was doing this the whole time, I'd be like, "Stop that! If you don't want to talk, fine. But yeah, I grew up before you'd have phones on the dinner table. It wasn't even an issue. Um, the most it is now is I'm playing on my phone and Mark's talking, and I have to say, hold on a second, what? She got more than that wrap. She got more than the wrap. I would say more than a burger. She has extremely indulgent kind of tastes, if we can recall. McDonald's was her go-to comfort food. It's her chicken soup of fast food. You don't want it all the time, but when you don't feel good, you want it. And that's kind of how she approaches that particular kind of fast food thing. It makes her feel safe and memorable and all sorts of stuff. She also binges wildly on that. I remember back in the villa, we were sitting in the kitchen. Hey, Panda. Hanging out. And she was just talking, being her normal self. And excuse me. I have to weep a little bit, I think. The McDonald's that she ordered 2 Big Macs, no burger. It was just buns with secret sauce, and then she gets extra sauce on the side, too. So, it's not going to be helpful. And again, the tone that the chat took was like, hey, what's the matter with you? And they were being sincere, because there's people that like Chantal. I can't fathom that, but it's for Albie Pot. So goes. Talking to your phone, whether it's AI or not, the whole time is ignorant. Like, if you have other things she's just doing the Truman Show and just filming everything and hoping people either fall in love with the monotony or with her or, whatever. I think she's hoping people are going to be tuning in on Kick for that. But if they're there and she's just talking to her phone the whole time, what's the motivation? What is the person paying? What's the subscription worth? What is their time worth? Do you want to sit around in a room with, she calls like 200 to 300, usually average people who are in her videos on demand, or not videos on demand, on her stream, excuse me. So, I don't know. It's rude. It's rude. If I was sitting, like I said, if I was sitting across from her, I'd have more feelings about it. Hey, Grateful. Hey, Andy. Hey, Kelga. Now, I have to say, the way she drew, yeah, the way she drew, I think I saw hell when I saw her diagram. She does think she's entertaining. I work on Sunday. Yeah. Truly entertaining. I think she knows, like, she's dramatic. She's always been dramatic. That's not news. And that's no crime. There's some people in my life who I very much love. And they're not drama. They're more like higher energy, whimsical. Not like no energy, take the path of least resistance. Why walk when you can sit? It's a very different way of kind of looking at how to go about your life and how you want to kind of conduct yourself. The direct advice I'm going to give, because Chantal sometimes, I think, watches our videos, because we're not terribly mean to her. It's mostly just her choices that are frustrating, and I don't talk too much shit about her compared to some other folks. So assuming she is watching, or to anyone I would say, if you have the kind of things she described, I had a similar thing, not the same, not cellulitis, but it had it in the same area, in the fold, right in the groin, okay? So I put it off until I had to go to the ER because it was so unbelievably painful. It was awful. Went to the hospital, they took a look at it, and they were like, yeah, you're going to have to stay. The infection had spread too much, and I had to have IV antibiotics for 3 days. And then it cleared up, but it didn't stop with the swelling. Like 3 days after that, on our way to go see Rent, it decides to discharge. Odorless clear liquid that came out because the antibiotics did their job. But it was painful until it actually let go. Don't around with this type of thing. This is more painful than anything. The problem with these kind of things is that they can go so quick, so fast. Chantal's not very consistent with taking any medication. If it makes her stomach upset, that would interfere with her eating. We can't have that. That's why we stopped the Ozempic. Because she lives to eat. If you take away her hunger, what is she going to live for? Man. Attention. Pity-seeking attention, different kind of things. Hey, Thunder. She was. I think, who was it? Someone said it's nice that she has a talking point now because she really had nothing to do. The boil involved like advice and plans and what are we going to do? And she went to get the boil pads, but her idea of, I'm sure there are things that you would let air dry or get some air. But the fact that she was kind of confused about the situation, like pus is what it is. Like that means it's begun. And for all the pus you see, there's a ton more inside you don't. So if they gave her the option to take oral antibiotics and go home, it's either because she wanted to go home or it wasn't that severe. It's right next to where she had the boil last time. So the cellulitis is in one spot, and right next to it is where she had another thing lanced and drained, another once upon a time. So be careful and don't squeeze it. You know you effed up if you try to squeeze it and instead of it coming out, it goes in. At that point, you've pretty much poisoned yourself and you end up in the hospital like I did. So I don't recommend it. She doesn't have any self-respect. I think because she doesn't really interact with anybody except in a forum like this. Like outside of that, it's a whole lot, like when she goes out to do the shopping and whatnot, nervous laughter every 30 seconds for an hour. Because anytime she interacts with someone or they talk to her, or God forbid they try to, she gets kind of nervous and held together. She's all big balls when she's on stream and everything, but put her out in the real world with the rest of us humans, and she can't really cut it as well. Sent home with the antibiotics and not needing the IV ones mean whatever they checked, she's okay. They didn't think it was that serious. Otherwise, they would have kept her because it's a keep you in the hospital kind of thing if it goes bad. So while it's not severe, please follow the protocols given so it stays not getting severe and eventually heals and goes away. Talking about boils and pus and all these kind of things, this is not sexy talk, okay? But it's the most interesting thing that's happened to her all week. I don't know. There was people suggesting that because she has stuff coming up, she's going to want some reason to be off camera, which she can't afford, frankly. Whatever condition she's in, she's got to turn it on. So that's the question. Is she going to take the antibiotics? She skips her other meds. You know, the ones that regulate her sugar, keep her from falling into a coma. She takes some hit or miss. Running in tandem with the fact that she has an open sore is that she's diabetic. So, and it's uncontrolled diabetes. There's no effort to control it. She tries to, I had a big meal, and now I'll take it, and then it'll go down, and then I'll take the metformin and it goes down. You're not meant to pick off high numbers with medications. The goal is to have like a whole lifestyle. 4 times a day. Take it with food. That'll make her remember. She does that 4 times a day at least. But, And thank you, KJ. Welcome, welcome. Nice to see you here. Her non-compliance is going to end her in the hospital with something that isn't dramatic. It just hurts and it's inconvenient. You know, I work in and around mental health. And some people love the attention they get when something's medically wrong with them. They glow because it's another way to solicit pity, caring. It pulls at people's heartstrings to try to make them feel sympathetic for you. Chantal is far gone from people feeling sympathetic for her. Nobody. They either kind of politely know, shrapnel from the pair, they either politely know that she's full of shit or they as much say it. So, I don't know. I'd love to share my experiences with her. I hope she takes it. I doubt she will. The McDonald's, again, the way that she's playing with, okay, I ate, it went up. I took it, and it went back down. She wants to jump ahead. She'll throw out in a period of wherever, I should just get the surgery. Like, she's going to roll into the ER, get fast-tracked to a gastric sleeve in, like, 72 hours. All the results she needs to improve her health take time. Nothing happens that fast. You know, you don't get well in big leaps. I know when you have a bypass or the Ozempic crew, there's people that talk about losing insane amounts of weight very quickly. Chantal is going to have loose skin regardless. She can get down to $1.10 and she would still. So, hey, funny girl. So that's not going to be it for her. She's not going to worry about her eating until this whole boil thing, cellulitis, whatever it is over. She's going to comfort herself with food in the meantime because she's having it rough. And she'll just shrug it off and say, oh, well, you know me, yuck, yuck, chuckle, chuckle, hi, teardrop. Like it never happened. Like it never happened. She also said Sala wasn't going to be able to get in touch with her. So all of a sudden, an event which is supposed to draw attention to her, onto her, is she trying to get his attention too? If he doesn't message her, doesn't he even care? What with that 3 years? Did they not mean anything to you? When he ghosts you? Yeah. Didn't mean anything to him. And that's hurtful, but the handwriting was on the walls. Yeah, she's all bluster. It's just... It's all it is. That's all it is. Yeah, extra sauce, extra cheese. Not gonna be good. Not gonna be good. My dad's a type 2 diabetic. And with diet, and he was on metformin for a while. He might still be, almost like prophylactically, or just as a base to help it out. And he lost like 20 pounds, quit drinking sugared soda, switched to Pepsi Zero. Not ideally healthy, but the weight came off, and he doesn't have the same issues. A documentary on Teardrop and Tracy. Good God. What hole in their soul is getting filled by Chantal? Normal, happy, healthy, well-adjusted people have a difficult time usually being in any kind of relationship, even like a parasocial type thing, with somebody who's like so selfish. The fact that they would either connect with Chantal, either because they feel bad, because they see themselves in her, because they love an underdog, because they think Chantal got a raw deal because they share experiences with her, and since I got a raw deal, I think she is, so I'm going to help my sister in turmoil out and throw her $10 so she can go get a fucking bucket of chicken. Those are her people. Stockholm Syndrome. I know. Well, I told you, she was already, giving her full Patty Hearst when she was over in Kuwait and Syria anyway. All of a sudden she was going to be the kind of person who they would be really kind of checking on her before she got on the plane, and they'd look at her passport with a little more scrutiny. Because she knows her intentions. She knows she's not doing anything wrong. It's just other people with attitudes and other people trying to run her life and tell her what to do. We don't know everything, okay? We don't know what's going on off camera. So who are we to judge? It's a fine act of hers to tell you a bunch of personal stuff. Enough, and with it to be continued. Like the ER. So here's all this bad stuff happening, now I'm going to the ER. And then go like radio silent. So the people that like her will be worried. She lies. Rule number 1. She lies. Patty Hearst. Totally she was. Oh my God. Full on. And then she goes all Nancy Drew on her phone. You like my references? When she's probably looking through GPT, looking for a way to connect to Sala's phone and download all the content, which apps she would need, what she would have to have him do. This is keeping her busy at the moment, head in the sand. And I think 77, they were right. The boil is the most exciting thing that's happened to her. She sits. She seals, she talks, we watch breakdowns. I have to give, to Barbecue Chillin' because honestly, that channel is like keeping it available for those of us on YouTube to keep up. Because I can't be on Kick all day, with her in my ear, trying to pick up bits and pieces. In 5 or 6 hours, it can be shaved down to 20 minutes. There's editorial discretion when you edit a video down, but I find her videos to be very objective. It doesn't paint anyone in a negative light. It doesn't give any extra credit. It doesn't make her look any worse than she makes herself look. And so it's a good resource, I think, for a lot of us on YouTube who aren't going to go over to Kick. We're not her people. We're not going to, but you want to know what's going on. Teardrop's home probably smells right through the screen. I suspect as much. She doxed her. Did I see? I was looking at thumbnails going by for other people's videos. She doxed Teardrop in some way, which is not good for Teardrop because of her close association with Foodie Beauty. And you guys know how people can be vicious, people can go real life, all that kind of stuff. And because she's I'll say asset, I don't want to say friend. If she's an asset to Chantal's not going to have anything bad happen to her, because then she might withdraw from Chantal and there goes the support. Next big brother, Amber Lynn, Chantal, Teardrop, and Tracy all in a house. The place will be knee deep in their blood and empty wrappers in a very short period of time. Very short period of time, I think. So as for, she likes the theatrics of things, but saying I need to go to the ER, we did this the last time she went to the ER urgent care. And as it was explained, they'll triage her when she goes in, and either you wait 2 hours or you wait 10 hours, depending on what's there. She calculated that going to the hospital about 5:30 in the morning, which is when she went, would be able to have her with more access to more doctors. So the wait times wouldn't be as long, so more people would be coming in. And she did that, and she said she was home by like 10:30 or so. How did she cut the line? I don't know. She's an unmedicated diabetic. Chantal's vitals on a good day look like she could be put down. So, I mean, I can't imagine if she's put herself into the hospital. And I can appreciate with Chantal. I can appreciate when you go into a doctor and you're there for something specific, like what she went in for, and they spend 15 minutes to you talking about your weight. I'll say with Chantal too, I don't think it's news to her that she's fat. I don't know if she's connected all of it. It doesn't seem like it, because if it was all together, this is the medicine I take, this is how I feel, this is how I eat, this is how I live, and if I sleep around it, and then maybe, I don't know. Hey, Jay, how are you? She tries to get it higher before she goes to the ER. I think so. She's an experienced manipulator with no sense of caution. And when it comes down to it, she's not like secretly smart either. She's manipulative, she's savvy, but she's not like secretly bright. She can't really accept the seriousness of some situations. Not just her own, but other people's. She'll be like, I don't know why they were upset. Well, something terrible happened to them that you caused. But you're over it, right? So they should be over it too. Why dwell? Let's move forward to the next ER. So yeah, Chantal, if you're listening, take the fucking antibiotics. It's going to be painful to not take them. You have the option to treat this at home. If you refuse to do that, someone will have to come do it for you again and do the packing or laying, or if it's weeping tissue, kind of depends on the state that it's in. But if you know you're not going to do it, and I don't see her sticking her leg up in the air to get in there and clean everything, you're going to get sick. You're going to get more sick. And you're going to have to go into a hospital to get it fixed, which is just in time for the vet appointment. Good reason not to go. Also, vet appointments are expensive, and we are almost up to half of the month being gone. And I know the dates are different with Twitch and with Kick and with the other ones too. But the way she's been looking rough. She's been looking very rough. And as I was kind of looking at the landscape of things, she's settling in quite comfortably to she's just kind of resigned to being disabled. Oh God, the blow dryer. Oh. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. And she had another thing down there. Am I making it up, or did I remember she had a boil on her bra line? This was probably very soon into the villa, and I think it was COVID time. They had a nurse come and pack the wound for it, but I thought probably it was because she just never changed her bra for a month or two. I don't know. They're uncomfortable things, but when you're fat, they happen. When you have weird hygiene, it happens. But also when you're diabetic, you're more susceptible to everything, pretty much. Everything. You have a reduced rate of success for almost any physical illness if you have diabetes. Fortunately, some of it's reversible, but that's not the pills work. You're not going to take a pill that's going to reverse your diabetes and have you lose 250 pounds. We tried Ozempic. Didn't work. So, Pizza Boy has kept his distance. Now, this might interfere with her traveling. I remember correctly. God. She's not disgusting. Boils are disgusting. But you add a boil to Chantal, and there's a little extra ick. I just gotta be honest. Like, you know, she would understand, I'm sure. So most of her issues become urgent. So if she had a GP or someone she was seeing, she'd be getting care coming through. The bra line was BB era. Oh my God, you're right. It was that long ago, wasn't it, Wendy? How old am I? How much of my life have I thrown away? Well, it's only an hour or two every week. I gotta see how it pans out. I don't seek satisfaction in bad things happening to her, even if it is in the flow of karma, and that's how it is. Because even when you've caused your own problems, they still hurt. I can stick my hand up as someone who has royally screwed up their life a few different times. It's hard to sweep yourself back into a pile and keep going. People do. There's been people bigger than 400 pounds who've lost weight and got their health back. Her her big excitement is going to the hospital. And we're going to stop for lunch first because it's so exciting I can't contain myself. She was going to bring her CPAP to the hospital too. I think that makes sense. I don't know if you go into the ER. They have other breathing treatments and respiratory stuff, I'm sure. But I don't know if she would be like, unless she was going to sleep, why would she need it? You know, but she's like, I don't want to pack it in the car and go here. We went very, very far for that fucking CPAP, didn't we? We went very far in the past. Now, well, leave it home. I'm telling you, she's not gonna. It's up to her. A lot of her issues are lifestyle related. So, it's what it is. And that be the way it is. So. There's not many more notes. I've only written to her sleazies are now encouraging her behavior. There's always been a bunch of yuck people, I'm assuming mostly men, but why discriminate? Amber's out there, who get an interest in her doing kind of these disgusting things. Like the last stream where she ate, it was only like, it wasn't half an hour, it was like 20 or 25 minutes. And she ate, and that was pretty much it. And then she like real quickly kind of cut off the stream and jetted. So you occasionally pray for her. That's because you're nice. I know. There but for the grace of God go I guess. No. It's not that she never had a life to throw away. It's like she's still getting off the ground from her teens. Like, she wouldn't want to go back to the kind of life, hey, Annie, she wouldn't want to go back to working and paying rent and all that kind of crap. I don't even think she particularly likes living with the person she's in a relationship with because she likes her privacy. For good or for ill, whether she's isolating and eating or not, she doesn't like to spend 24/7 with people. Pete's was a good bit because he stayed in his room, as a good manservant would. Came out to get her food and together that. I didn't realize what kind of a masochist would have, in her weight, decide she's going to get a second floor apartment. There must have been a crunch. And she wasn't as immobile at the time, though. So, falling over her, clean for her. Yeah. But she's a mature 42-year-old who doesn't like others to fawn over her, clean for her. She's ridiculous. She's so ill, so brave, isn't she? My heart's in the back of my throat. I'm so overcome with her dignity and grace in which she handles her health concerns. No, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. But I can, okay, when I was still drinking and maybe a little bit before, well, even in like I was a kid, long ago, in a galaxy far, far away, when I was a little kid, like first grade, second grade, that kind of thing, I knew when I was sick, I could stay home from school. Well, I had mental health stuff. I had terrible anxiety and other things. So I knew if I faked sick, I would not only get special treatment by not having to go to school, I'd get a little more attention from mom. So when you feel needy later in life, rather than saying, I need this, I'm not getting my need met, like instead of having direct kind of conversations, which aren't easy. I don't want to make it sound like, God, if you just stuck up for yourself. But she's not going to be in a place where she's willing to address what's going on. So it's somewhere between a waste of breath and a kind of a novel hobby to try to suggest things that may be helpful to her. I only speak from experience because I can't go, into her life, and I'm not a diagnosing professional. I'm more of a peer than anything. So I can't label diagnoses. We all roll the dice, and we all come in and play dime store psychiatrist and see what's wrong. One of us is right, if not two. So, whoever's encouraging her to ride her scooter dangerously in the road and then feigning disability to win the pity of others and have them hold doors and everything like that. It's sick. This is a mild version of some really fucked up behavior. So we'll see where it goes. That cried wolf, though, she's going to have a fucking case of MRSA growing down to her knee, and everyone's going to be like, sure, Chantal, you going to Burger King first? And then when she needs the help and support, it won't be there because she blew it off when they offered it. See, I knew you'd all abandon me. You told us all to fuck off. Of course we abandoned you. Bye. Have a nice life. So, but yeah, she likes the attention, especially because she seems medical. Like if I have to miss a wedding, or if I have to miss vacation, or if I can't take the cat to the vet, you want to have an understandable excuse that anybody would say. So you have to kind of exaggerate symptoms a little bit so that people can, get an idea of the kind of bullshit really you're trying to throw, honestly. But yeah, exactly, Kelga. We are right here. See? Get away from me. Leave me alone. Don't talk to me. 5 seconds later. See, I knew he'd abandon me. How could you guys let him talk to me like that right here in the chat? And why are you talking to other women? Or, well, I assume he is. While she's not there. He's a man. I know what men are like. I knew one guy that said it's not considered cheating if it's not within 45 miles of your house. Happily married guy. I guess that works out for him. So we're going to cut it a little short here. This was a snack. I had a very good but long day at work. Mark's laying low for the time being. So I'm going to finish up my pear, and we may be checking in sooner than later. We have some filmed content planned, maybe for the weekend. But in the meantime, if there's any news on her boil, what the fuck is my life? If there's any news, we will definitely pop back on and do another snack time. But my closing thoughts, get out of the scooter, take your antibiotics, and shut up every once in a while. I promise you, your life will get easier. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for joining me, kind of on an impromptu, unannounced, but y'all got here. We hit over 100, which is good. So please do subscribe. We have memberships available, $2.99 a month to join the Smoky Deck. We do member lives, member posts, stuff like that. Please hit the thumbs up if you'd be so inclined as well. Feel free to subscribe, and we'll catch up with you very soon. Okay, so I talked into the wind about hopefully she hears a little something out of it, but at least we got to pool our thoughts and get back together about what might be helpful. So thank you, everybody. Much appreciated, and we'll talk to you soon, okay? Bye. Say goodbye, Mark.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. He's still kicking.